This game, you guys. This game was something else.
Can you kill something that big?
So God of War is the latest game in the God of War franchise. It's the sequel to God of War 3 while also being a kind of reimagining of the franchise. In this God of War game, we see Kratos trying to settle down in the world of Norse mythology with his son Atreus. However, his wife, just before the events of the game, has just passed away, and he wants to abide his wife's wishes, going to the tallest peak of the realms and scatter her ashes. However, in the meantime, a bunch of people are after Kratos and his son. That's all I'm gonna tell you guys, because oh my god, this game. Alrighty guys, so let's get into God of War. I think it's safe to say that I have been very excited for the new God of War game. I am a huge fan of the God of War franchise, and actually a fun fact, I learned about Greek mythology from God of War. I'm not joking about that. Then when I heard that there was a new God of War game, I got very excited, and I will never forget the very first time that this game was unveiled at E3 2016. My mind was blown when I found out, but the thing that got me even more excited about this game was knowing that Cory Barlog, the guy who directed God of War 2, was doing this game, because God of War 2 was my favorite God of War game in the franchise until this one. Guys, this game, to put it very simply, is fucking awesome. I mean, holy shit. Now, of course, the very first thing you notice about this game is that this game looks just absolutely beautiful. And not just from a graphic side, but the art direction. Everything about this game looks just beautiful, and beautiful is an understatement itself. The character designs, the weapons, the monsters, the creatures, the landscapes, the sculptures, the buildings, everything in this game looked top notch. And this is coming from a person that plays this game on a standard PS4. Even on a standard PS4, this game looks out of this world amazing. Now, from what I've seen, the PS4 Pro does look better. You have the 60 frames per second, the textures look better, but I'm telling you guys right now, if you just have a standard PS4 Pro, you will still be stunned by the look of this game. Just in the first 2 hours of this game, all I did besides doing the main storyline was that I just kept exploring, because this game's graphics and world design just blew me away every single time. And one thing I adored about the game's graphics and world design was that the more you kept progressing in the game, the more the world just kept revealing itself. It's as if the developers of this game like, oh, you did that? Wait till you see this. Every time I got even further, my mind still kept on getting blown, because I was just going like, god dang, what else is there for me to see? I felt like a kid on Christmas morning every time I kept on exploring, because I felt like that there were new possibilities just kept on being unlocked and unlocked and unlocked. And the other thing is that since that you were in the world of Norse mythology, the 9 realms are in this game. However, you can't really travel to all the 9 realms. There are a couple that are locked due to Odin, apparently. At first, I will not lie, it did kind of upset me, but I realized that the ending of this game does set up for more to be told. So something tells me that in the next God of War game, there is going to be so much more to explore, and I cannot wait. The game's story also is something that I absolutely adored, and you guys are going to hear me saying adored a lot in this review, but for good reason. But the game's story was something that I was not expecting at all for this game, because in the previous God of War games, they were essentially about Kratos' quest for revenge against the gods who did him wrong, where in this is a much more somber, deeply rich experience, a very emotional one at that, between Kratos and his son. And the experience that Kratos and his son go through was something that I never experienced in a God of War game. Like the game story in this game is, honest to God, one of the most emotional stories I have ever played in a video game. There was a moment between Kratos and Atreus about, I want to say, an hour and a half through the game, and that's something that Atreus goes through. And when Kratos is trying to comfort his son after something that happened, I couldn't help but start tearing up. Seriously, the bond between these two was just something deep. And another thing I loved was the bantering between Kratos and Atreus. There are times where Atreus will make you feel like a frustrated dad, and there are times where it'll be like, hell yeah, Atreus, hell yeah. And the thing I loved most about Atreus was that Atreus was not a burden, nor was this a typical escort mission. This kid, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, countless times in combat, he saved my ass. and I was just like, I want to give you a cookie and a hug, son. And another thing I loved about the characters was this character named Mimir, who Kratos pretty much hangs on his head. This man had me cracking up so much. There are times when he would tell a story, then he would crack a joke. The funniest things that would ever happen is that when Kratos would be knocked down from battle, and Mimir would say something like, well, that's just perfect! And every time he would say that, I couldn't help but laugh every time he said that. Another huge redesign about this game, and another thing that, again, that I adored about this game was the camera. The camera now in this God of War game has a more of an over-the-shoulder look, which people have compared to The Last of Us, and people are saying, oh, Last of Us ripoff. I can tell you guys right now, this is the furthest thing from a Last of Us ripoff. The one comparison I can make between this and The Last of Us is that the camera is over the shoulder. Other than that, this game is specifically a God of War game. There is no other way that I can see this being compared to The Last of Us other than the camera. And honest to God, the camera work in this game is amazing. And another thing that I praised so much about this game, which by the way, it's the director of photography to this game, I love you, sir, is that all this game takes place in one shot. Those of you who have been following me for years will know that I have a huge admiration for directors who do one-shot takes. The entirety of this game is in one shot. And how they did that blew my mind. And I just want to say again to the director of photography, you are a master. Of course, it's done by a computer, but still there are times where I was just like, how did they do that? But perhaps the biggest redesign of the game, and another thing again that I adored, there's that word again, is the combat. Because in this game, Kratos now uses the Leviathan axe, which every reviewer out there has compared to Thor's hammer. Thor's hammer? But every reviewer out there has compared Kratos' Leviathan axe to the Mjolnir, I believe that's how you pronounce it, because you can throw the axe like the hammer and recall it back, which makes for some amazing combos. Like, early in the game, what I would do is that I would knock enemies up in the air, throw the axe, recall it back, just to see the enemies go poof, and it never got old. Even though the combat may feel a tad bit slower in this game, which I didn't mind, they somehow made this game feel even more brutal than the previous God of War games, which I have to commend the team on this. One of the things that really surprised me about God of War's combat system was just how rich and just how detailed it was. I have never seen a God of War game as in-depth with combat as this one. There are a bunch of skills to unlock. There are talismans you can use to not only upgrade your weapons, but your armor, which by the way, guys, use your talismans because they will save your ass on multiple occasions like they did for myself. The combat experience of this game keeps throwing new things at you all the time, and I never feel like I've mastered. I still feel like I'm learning new things with the combat. You can get different armor sets for Kratos. They're not only for Kratos, but for Atreus as well. And some of the armor sets in this game you can get are pretty badass. And finally, the score by Bear McCree. To put it simply, guys, Bear McCree is music, but before we get onto that, Bear McCree, you're a genius. To put it simply, guys, Bear McCree's score for God of War was nothing short of epic. Every single track in this game is just amazing. The overture of this game, the very first track you hear, the music every time you would go into battle. Every time I felt battle music, I would always be like, all right, guys, bring it on, mother F's! And there was a moment in this game halfway through that I lost my shit. For those of you who play the game and being it, don't put any spoilers in the comments. Everything that happened in this scene, accompanied by the music, I had to stop myself from screaming. I was in so much joy. And all I'm gonna say is this, to Cory Barlog, I fucking love you for doing this. And that brings me to the ending of this game, guys. All I'm gonna say is this, get ready, because man, what an ending that was. And another thing is that even though I have beaten the game, there are still so many things that I want to do in this game. And I'm not usually a completionist, minus a select few games like Red Dead Redemption or Legend of Zelda or Uncharted. This is one of those few games in which I want to complete everything. And when I looked at the list of trophies, and by the way guys, I've never gotten to Platinum, I know. But when I looked at the list of trophies, I just thought, you know what? I think I can do this. I think I can platinum this game. And that to me right there says a lot when it comes to this game. I don't have a single flaw nor a single nitpick with this game. I do not. Overall, guys, God of War is an absolute masterpiece of epic proportions. This game had such a deeply, richly emotional experience that I never thought I would see in a God of War game. There are times in this game where I laughed, there are times in this game where I cried, there are times where I did this, yeah! And there are times where I went, but yeah, all in all, guys, God of War was a game that I absolutely adored from start to finish. I am still playing this game. I loved this game to death, and I am absolutely going to give God of War a 10 out of 10. Guys, if you have a PS4 out there, and if you haven't played this game, buy it right now. And if you guys are contemplating on buying a PS4, this game is the definition of a system seller. Buy this game if you haven't already. This game is just incredible. To Cory Barlog and the team at Santa Monica, thank you for this game. Thank you so much. Alright guys, so comment down and let me know below. Have you guys played God of War? If so, what did you guys think? Did you guys love it? Did you guys even hit it? If so, really? But seriously, let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and I'm also on Snapchat. I'm also now on Stardust, so if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links and the usernames are in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of God of War. If so, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe to see more game reviews just like this one. If you guys want to see any of my previous 2 game reviews, please click either right here or right here. And of course, until my next review, I will see you guys next time.